All right, everyone, welcome to the week. We hope you had a great Father's Day. And I realized in the last video I said it was the middle of June, but actually now it's the middle of June. So just wanted to let you know on that. And we have an update on our little egg membrane from last week. So last week it was a jello-y egg. And this week it's just a hard, now moldy thing. So we're still monitoring the chickens, but thankfully that's the only one that we actually got. We got a couple fun things going on with the birds though in the yard. First thing is we put a netting around our strawberries. I believe we showed you that. And then somehow these little birds got under the net to still eat our strawberries in one section. But the second section, we got strawberries and we did let the birds free. Next, while we were outside in the garden, we realized that the other kinds of birds, the swallows, they have babies in the birdhouse. So that was kind of fun to see, just diving in and out, feed, feed, feed. And thirdly, we made bird feeders for the windows so that we can watch the birds eat while we're inside watching the World Cup. They have been going crazy, so that's been extra fun to watch as well. But on to this week's agenda. So Jason is back in the shop this week making a shadow box. And we have a super fun bread recipe this week. It is a Super Seed Loaf bread. So let's get to it.
Hey, look where we are. Back in the shop, doing some stuff this week. I still got some stuff going on with my sinuses. I'm not sure if it's still a little bit of sickness or if it's allergies yet, so just working through it. But we've got a project. A few months ago, I had a picture frame company reach out to me. They had a client that wants a large shadow box. It's a 60-inch by 40-inch shadow box that they can access from the front and switch things in and out periodically. And we kind of put our heads together and figured out maybe gas struts would be the best option to go with. And then, so there would be a box and then a frame on top of that with plexiglass in it that you can lift up and replace stuff as needed. But because the frame is going to be pretty heavy, we needed some assist. So that's why we came up with the gas struts. So I've got those on order. So they'll be here shortly. So yeah, I've got this maple cut down to final thickness. I've just got to shave off another ½ inch or so for the width. And then I could put a rabbet in one edge so that the plexiglass is recessed. We'll cut some miters on these so that we can create the frame. We'll use dominoes to put them together. And then we can work on the box. And that I'll use dominoes to put it together as well. And then we'll get this thing assembled. This is a very unique project, and that's where I thrive. So let's get started. All right, so classic Jason, forgot to hit record. So this is what I did. I created this little groove here. That is where the plexiglass is going to sit in. So this will be the inside of the frame all the way around. Plexiglass goes in here. And then I'll have a piece that will kind of sandwich the plexiglass in, and I'll nail this into the side here. Conveniently, I just cut these pieces out of this that I can use. So how I got this in here was, first I ran this through this way so that it cut out this groove, and then I flipped them over, moved the fence, moved the blade, and ran them through this way in order for this piece to pop out. So this piece actually came from here. And luckily the plexiglass is an 1/8 inch thick, and my table saw blade is an 1/8 inch thick. I don't actually have to cut this down anymore if I didn't want to, because it should just fit in right there perfectly. Now we're going to cut the miters on the ends to fit it together. And for that I need to set up my miter saw. I can't use my miter jig for the table saw because it's too small. These pieces are too big to run and get a good cut on that. So I'm going to set up my miter saw. So I've already attached this sacrificial board and fence here. So I just got to cut out the miter, and then we'll be good to go. And as you'll see, I'll cut one end of each board on this side, and then I will flip it over and cut the other end on this side. And even if this isn't exactly 45 degrees, because each angle is cut on the opposite side, it's going to match up to 90 degrees. Little tip for you. It's not even Tuesday. All right, so now that I've got this set up, I need to do a test. So this is one end, and really, because this is already here, you can see. So it was like this. I'm just going to do this. And that should be a perfect 90, which it is. All right, so I got the miters cut on all of these pieces. I put these dominoes in each of the corners to strengthen them up so that they don't fall apart, because there's going to be a lot of stress on it because of the gas springs, so don't want them to break apart. Yeah, glued it together, used this strap with these cool 3D printed corner clamp things. That worked really well. Now that I've got this glued up, I can start on the box. And so I'm just going to have a 1/4 inch, I believe a 1/4 inch reveal on the outside edge all the way around. So basically I can just measure this up and then subtract a 1/2 inch, make the box that size. There will also be another piece of wood in the box to cover the gas springs that'll go in this. So it'll make more sense as we go along here. So I'm gonna get this thing unclamped, and then we'll measure and cut down the pieces for the box. These are the clamps. They work really nice. All right, so as you can see, things got a little crazy. My clamps aren't long enough, so I had to put two together on all of them. And then I had to use this ratchet strap to get it back to square. I had to pull these corners in order to make all these 90-degree corners. Now we let it sit and we don't touch it. We'll let it dry, and then I can route out a channel for the back to go in. And then I've got the two other pieces that will go in here and here. And then we can get it painted. All right, look at this thing, huh? I put the back on, put the hinges on, and this is almost ready to go. Not really. I gotta sand it, finish sanding it, and then paint it. And then I'm still waiting on the gas springs to show up. The gas springs are gonna be mounted to the side and then obviously the top. And then I'm also gonna put a little piece of wood there to hide that gas spring so that it's a nice clean interior. I'm painting it black. Man, this is really cool. This was a bit of a challenge for me too. It's such a big piece that a few times I had to use other tools. Like I couldn't use my table saw to cut up the plywood. That's a small example. But getting the miters on the frame, I couldn't use my jig that I have for the table saw. I had to use my miter saw, which the miter saw isn't exactly that accurate. So I had to really dial it in. And I still had cracks that I had to fill in, but because it's going to be painted, that's not a big deal. So yeah, I'm just going to finish sanding this up and get it primed tomorrow, get it painted on Sunday, and hopefully the gas springs have shown up by then. So, awesome. All right, so got the hinges attached and I just installed the gas springs. So let me show you how this thing works. So picture this is going to be on a wall. I can't actually attach it to a wall right now. So this is on the wall and there'll be a piece of plexiglass in here. They can mount stuff to the back here, but this is how it opens. It's kind of, it's pretty strong. The gas springs are pretty strong, so I gotta kind of fight with it in order for it to not spring open too quickly. When it's on the wall, there'll be much more force weighing down on it. So it should be fine, but because it's laying down, it just wants to boom. So, so it starts off pretty simple or pretty soft, and then it just wants to go. So I've got to kind of go around here and hold it so that it doesn't spring open so quickly and then possibly wrench the screws out. But yeah, these are the springs. This was a very fun project. So yeah, this is done now. They're going to bring the plexiglass down and we'll install that here. And then they're going to take it away and have someone else install it. So now watch me try and close this, because I got to get up on the ladder here. And because my shoulders are just not doing well lately, I can't actually do much over my head. So I've got to get up on this ladder and then kind of push it down. And this just goes down like that. Because once it gets down to about here, it's nice and easy. It lets off, so it's easy to close. It's just that, I don't know, 80 degrees that it just wants to fight with you. Take care of your body, folks. I obviously did not. So I worked at a banquet facility and I set up chairs and tables for banquets. And I was in really good shape, so I could just grab chairs and stack them like this, you know, full extension, and carrying two 8-foot tables at a time. And you can see how my shoulders are. That's not good doing that for 10 years. So now I'm paying the price. Rotator cuff stuff going on in both shoulders. But we're fixing it. We're getting it fixed. I'm doing some physical therapy, and hopefully there's no tears or anything. It's just they've been overused. So yeah, stay in shape, eat well, get lots of sleep. Don't abuse your body. Welcome back to the kitchen. Today we got Super Seed Loaf. It's a loaf of bread with a ton of different seeds in them. Seeds and oats and quinoa. Yeah, let's do it. So we're gonna start with a seed soak. So we're gonna take all these seeds, soak them in boiling water, let it sit for 20 minutes, and then we can continue on with the dough. So we've got the water, we've got the quinoa, a little bit of salt, sesame seeds, cornmeal, rolled oats, flaxseed, and poppy seed. Just gonna mix this up, and we'll let it soak for 20 minutes. All right, it's been 20 minutes. You can see that all the seeds have soaked up the water. Now we're gonna throw that into the bowl, along with some honey, olive oil, salt, yeast, bread flour, and whole wheat, and more water. And we're gonna mix this for a couple minutes just to bring everything together. All right, we're gonna cover this and let it rest for 15 minutes. All right, it's been 15 minutes, and we're just gonna continue mixing this for another 5 minutes. That little rest was just so the flours could incorporate the water a little bit. And now we will actually knead this thing. 5 more minutes. All right, we're going to let this set for 1.5 to 2 hours till it doubles in size. It has been an hour. Look at that thing. Look at all those seeds. We're going to dump this out. This is very sticky. We're just gonna put a little bit of flour on top. Then we're gonna pat it out into a 12 by 8-ish rectangle. Gently. There we go. And then we're just gonna take this, fold in the sides, and then we're gonna roll it and kind of press. Gently press. Don't want to let all the air out. And then we'll kind of seal up the seam here. And I've got a greased loaf pan here that I put some butter in. We're just going to put it in seam side down. Then we're just going to make 3 to 4 cuts with this lame. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now, just going to cover it, let it rise for another 45 minutes to an hour. All right, it has been 50 minutes. This guy is ready to go. Look at that thing. Gosh, it smells so good too. All right, we're going to throw it in the oven at 375 for about 40 minutes. All right. Look at this perfect bread. Let's cut into this thing, shall we? Oh yeah. Gosh, it smells wonderful. Can't wait to make a turkey sandwich out of this tomorrow. I'm gonna have some with butter on it right now. All right, Super Seed Loaf.